Yeah, blessings to the people and blessings, doing this, after again, disappointed of what happened in that game last night versus Curacao. We still, grieve on, the performances, the lack of logical thinking around the team, from the manager as well. But Ravel Morrison, people, the Ravel Morrison Church reopened back again. Let me drink some water. The Ravel Morrison Church reopened again. Let me say it again. The Ravel Morrison Church reopened back again. This reopened back the conversation of should Ravel should Ravel get picked for the national team. The conversation, the file, the case reopened back again. A few months ago, the case seems like it's dead and buried 12 feet, 13 feet down in the ground. No, the case reopened by Ravel signing for, the Arabian Falcons in the second division in UAE. That's third tier football in UAE. The same league that he played for last season for FC Precision, that owned by the bunch of UK guys. But no, he's joining up with John Joe Shelby, the former Liverpool player. John Joe Shelby. Yeah, the season just started. Ravel signed up with Arabian Falcons, and this going to reopen back the case. And I'm saying this, midfield is one of the most important role in our team. If not, it is the most important role of a team. And our team is going to function. It doesn't matter if you're going to play expanded football, if you're going to play creative style, if you're going to play low block, if you're going to play defensive. If you don't have those midfield players, it's going to hard to carry out or execute a plan, because the midfielders must drive that team. The midfield position, that's the driving force of anything, the engine, the transmission. You understand? The gearbox for any team. So looking at it now that Lord Ravel Morrison have signed for the Arabian FC, the Falcons. Yeah. I mean, this going to have the Ravel fans, I don't want to say about like I want to be respectful, you understand, but this going to, speak volumes for the Ravel Morrison fans. And me personally, I don't have any vendetta against Ravel Morrison. I think the skill set that him have, I think him, we lack those qualities, that in our midfield, especially, when we look at Ian Frey get thrown into the mix of what happened last night, being thrown deep waters when he can't even swim, no life jacket, just go out there and just use up your experience. Steve McLaren, and that's how this work. Just bring a man for just throw him in a deep water who can't swim and have the life jacket. Must expect the man to go drown. He might go just until the last gap, till him can't go no more. Ian Frey not go back down. But you throw a man that say, hey, go play midfield, go play six. Me definitely know for sure that Steve McLaren never watched Ian Frey played a game in that CDM role before. Never. Guess what? Someone is in his head. Someone is in his ears that, hey, Ian Frey is a good right back, good player. I'm not writing off Ian Frey. He should be in the team going forward. Yeah, they will add an extra bit of competition for Dexter Lemekisa as well. I think that's where he should go. When you have a national team, there shouldn't be ways that we plugging in different players into different roles where that player never playing on a consistent basis. I don't care if Busquets is in Inter Miami. I don't care if Rodrigo De Paul is in that Inter Miami midfield, but you have never get a solid run out in that department. Not even to play alongside, Busquets in 5 games consistently. So you have never played on that level in that role of say, hey, I deserve to be here. So it was all about risk. It was all about just the hope that he can use his experience. That what Steve McLaren have said. So with the deficiencies that the players lack as a midfielding peers in our national team, Ravel is the one that really can possess the quality. And love Ravel as a player, you understand, but you want your midfielders, to have that discipline. Yeah, and Ravel, I'm not, when I say discipline, and I'm not talking about discipline that is rude, his behavior is poor, his behavior is stink and anything. Not talking about that, but discipline of all in a club. If you have a midfielder that he can't be disciplined to hold a club and to get back a club in time so he can continue to play football and not stay away from the game for too long, that speak volumes. You understand? But then again, you can put away certain things aside and look at what the player qualities are, because sometimes special treatment goes for special players. And I do think some of the skill set comparing Ravel to our midfielders, he's a special player comparing to our Jamaican players. He's that special talent. You understand? Comparing him with our reggae boys peers. So he's a special talent there. So the conversation will always be there once Ravel get a club. But I'm saying, my goodness grace, why it have to be the third tier of UAE football again? We're seeing Ivan Toney is playing in the Saudi Arabia, but Al Ali, he's not getting that look in. Someone that scored probably like 40 goals in 60 plus games for his Saudi Arabia team, and he cannot get any look in. No one have scored more goals than Ivan Toney as an English striker outside of Hurricane, but he can't get a look in. But then again, that's a different story. They have different players playing in a higher league than Ivan Toney. But I'm just saying, like, why it have to be in that third tier? It is what it is. If that's Ravel level, if those are the clubs that will take risk at him and give him the money, pay him the salary that he really want, then kudos for him. But again, man, it's just going to open up and reopen the case for Ravel to be reinstated back into the national team. And this is me of saying, like, Ravel, I wouldn't just close the door on him, but when you have a player like that, 32 going to 33, we have so many young players that can get opportunities, so many young players that need to get, reinstated into the team and get introduced to the program. I've tested them out. Look at, at young Kieran Anderson. Shows a lot of, movements of a midfield player, what a midfield player should look like in a game. What are the basic a midfield player should do in a game. But again, Kieran Anderson is not really consistent enough when it comes to play, but for some reason, for the last couple of games, he seems like he's just a different player. It's like he's getting a little bit more mature, or he's start to understand the game a little bit more, and it's crying out for someone to give him that chance where he can get a run of games and start to put in a great shift for the national team and also for his club team as well. So our players don't have, the Rafael Morris qualities, so it's just going to open the door again. And for us to be in this situation of Rafael get a full run out, for the national team for the last couple of years, played in some important World Cup qualifier game, played in some important Nations League, World Cup qualifier, and Gold Cup as well. Yeah, we should have at least have a backup plan for say, when is that time for Ravel, when he's not having the best of time, not having a club, who are the youngsters that we're going to introduce into that role. So it's a mix. It's mixed feelings at this moment, you understand? But look at it now. Bring back Lord Ravel into the midfield. I'm just have to say that because the players them now show that. When we bring Ravel, in the Unity Cup, he never do a great deal of job. But again, he came in and he just steadied the ship and calmed the game down and started to just spray that football around, and the movements and how he's aggressive with his presence on the ball, want to be on the ball, want the ball at all times. And we're seeing stuff like that from a young Kieran Anderson in the last couple of games, that he came on, like he's showing up, he want the ball, he's going up, and the defenders would have taken the ball from him. Give me the football, let me be the quarterback of this team, let me be the quarterback from the midfield area, so Kerry showing qualities, so it's going to always be a conversation of get back a Ravel Morrison in the team, especially on the back of signing for a club. All they said, Ravel, please just sign for a club. Then you have DJ on the other side of the world in Turkey, playing in the Turkey Super League, consistently playing at least 80 minutes per game since he joined up with his Turkish team from the second tier, coming now into the Super League, consistently getting game. He's been the better midfielder for his football club. Yes, he would have been around the same age group as a Ravel. So people going to have their bias. People going to say, so if you're calling for Ravel, what happened to DG and stuff like that. So there's always be conversation. There will always be, doors that, going to try to unlock by Reggae Boys fan to get their favorite players in. So I'm leave it like that. So, but all I have to say, the Ravel Church reopened. Yeah, the Ravel Morrison Church reopened. The judge reopened but the case. So all of the Ravel lawyer them start on a procedure of doing the research and start to bring it on the table and laid out a platform to say this is why Ravel should be in the team. I leave it right there. Food for thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. The Reggae Boys coming off the back of that defeat last night, man, versus Curacao. Now we're looking forward to see what's ahead, and it's Bermuda in front of us. Must win. Must win. Was it Trinidad win? Can Trinidad do the business in Curacao? Ha! Leave it right there. Bless up on yourself. Thanks for watching, man. Nicola Media was there again. Salute to the people them. Out.